British, Martin speaking. Hi guys, good to see you. Globebusters is on. I've just come to pay a visit as a precursor to add on to a video that I'm doing concerning the current war on God the creator, not religion. Religion is mind control. Look, God, the creator of this plane of existence that we find ourselves on, that God. Now, there seems to be a really evil, or seems to be is, a sort of some worship in helioistic, Lucifer worshipping, demonic sort of culty thing going on in the powers that be, the rulers, and they've overspilled it into everything. So I'm going to be doing a series of videos exposing that and showing you, for people who don't really know. This is part 2. Part 1 just went up, okay? It's only a few minutes long, but I'm going to show you the Palmyra Arch that they put in Trafalgar Square, a little bit more detail on the Masonic symbology over London, and just a few thoughts. I'm working on different stuff. I'm just trying to get as much content out there with every spare available minute, and there ain't that many. Okay? Peace to all brothers and sisters. I'm off to watch Globebusters and get this onto my video. Peace. Anybody need me? MartinLeague7gmail.com. Don't get involved in any bullshit and drama is my advice to you guys. Obviously you can do what you want with your life, but it don't make no sense because it's all superficial bullshit. At the end of the day, you got up this morning, and if you ain't in screaming agony in your relatives, don't fucking worry about it. Okay? Go with the flow. God, you're looking out for you. And he sends helpers. A hidden hand that helps you in reality. Don't believe me? Whatever. Peace to all, guys. See you soon. British. Hiya, guys. Glad you could join me today on Sunday. I'm looking into this war against God, which I see as a war against God. The news today with, this gay rights march in Istanbul has been attacked, and you get to Newcastle in England, apparently some people coming out of a Ramadan meeting have been rammed by a woman, apparently not a terrorist, but something doesn't ring true with this whatsoever. Again, also another house fire in Bethnal Green in London. Funnily enough, a place I was talking about with a sub this week, because it's a place I lived in, worked in, and I know really well. And today, it was posted by, I'll put a link in the descriptions box, that the roof is on fire in a pyramidal shape. The roofs are pyramidal because they're annexes, and they will show that. And I've seen buildings on fire, so I'm not going to think this is, at this stage, this Bethnal Green fire is anything sinister. Fires do happen, although it is migrants, but it is London also, so you're going to get that because large parts of London are mainly from foreign countries. Now, the ongoing war against God, which I'm fighting, and you are fighting with me, brothers and sisters, or you're complacent to the devil, I'm afraid, and I'm going to be fighting you too, if you're not with God. I'm afraid this is me. I'm sounding a bit fundamentalist, but it's Sunday today, not that that means anything because they changed the day with their bullshit. Now, this is sinister. Now, the Temple of Baal, as you all know, in Baalbek or in Homs, is destroyed. And they put a 3D printed version up in Times Square and in Trafalgar Square in London back last year. Now, you can see here Boris Johnson, Zionist sellout, who loves to be pretending he's one of the peeps with his scruffy hair and a bit comical. The fact is, he got a classical education and he is indeed an Etonian. So he likes to do a bit of buggery in the dormitory. So Boris Johnson reveals the structure in Trafalgar Square. The replica of Syrian monument, 2 millennia old, was destroyed in so-called Islamic State in Syria, has been erected in Trafalgar Square. Now, this happened last summer. You may be aware of this. They used 3D technology. It's travelled to cities around the world after leaving London. Syrian Director of Antiquities said that it was an action of solidarity. It's an action of satanic brainwashing. He told spectators they were gathered in defiance of barbarians who destroyed the arch in the city northeast of the Syrian capital of Damascus, the oldest inhabited capital on earth. So there's a replica of the Palmyra Arch, okay, and they put it up for some strange, peculiar reason in London and in New York City. So there's the Palmyra Arch, originally part of Baalbek, or part of this ancient civilization we will look into now, which I think is they're hiding some evidence. So they blew that However, look what you will see here, guys. You just observe here. Whenever you see any of this antiquity, you will always see at the bottom, in every antiquity, older, more larger stones. So this stone on top looks nothing like the stone it's laid on. So what you'll find is civilizations replaced upon the civilizations that came before them. Okay, so I've been looking into this quite some bit, the timeline, and I'm going to be looking into it quite a bit more also. Now, this ongoing war with God, Temple of Baal, New York City. Okay, let's just take a look at this. Firewall Baal. Now, these people brought out actual petitions to try and get rid of this this arch, because they do believe it to be satanic by nature. That's not telling us anything new. Okay, so there's an arch there, and it's in Times Square. Very sinister, but when you know what's going on. Now, Babylon, London, Nimrod, and the Secret War Against God. Now, put this link in the descriptions box. I had this from a sub, I think called Lorraine earlier, which is really cool. Babylon, London, Nimrod, and the Secret War Against God by Jeremy James. So I'll put this link in the descriptions box. If you click London, Babylon, Egypt, Obelisk, Asherah, star patterns, Horus, Isis, and Nimrod, it will give you links and some information into these things. Okay, which is really, really interesting. Star patterns. What are they saying about star patterns? Okay, I'm going to be making another video attached to this about Baalbek. We're just going to have a little look at it, okay, and a little bit with me on the camera, so they're not all just captioned videos. So there's the one in built in Trafalgar Square, which is just sinister and evil to mine eyes. Okay, so detailed analysis with maps and chart of Babylonian London. Okay, let's take a look. This will give you maps like I showed you yesterday with this city of Asana, or in Uzbekistan, or Kazakhstan, I'm very sorry, which looks like it might be the Illuminati city itself. It's new. Okay, so you get obelisks, jam-packed with Illuminati symbology. This is quite a cool PDF, this is actually, guys. I think we'll be putting this in the descriptions box for us. Oh dear. Temple Bar. The fire today in Bethnal Green was in Tower Hamlet, and it did show a pyramid, so maybe, and it was migrant, so I've seen that many times. I come from Wales, we have a dragon on our flag. So, more demonic symbology in London. Let's check it out. Oh, Helios column in BBC Shepherd's Bush Studios. Oh, right, well, the BBC got Helios outside, guys. Are you aware of that? Also, the horses of Helios at Haymarket. Yeah. So, London is jam-packed full of this sort of shit. And you'll find somebody said to me today they live in Sydney in Australia, and they have a park there which is identical, has all the same sort of scenario. Ooh, what's this? Responsible. Okay. The conventional explanation was a greedy little boy was in some manner responsible for the fire, and indeed he was. For a little boy is none other than Nimrod. Oh, right. Okay, I'll move this over so in case you want to read it for yourselves, but I will put the link in the box. This is really intriguing stuff. It's to do with Osiris and their crazy ass belief system. Okay, regardless of whether there's any reality in any of it. Anyway, I don't care, because it's all anti-God to me. The whole agenda of dehumanization, transhumanization, or homosexuality. I'm not a homophobe. I live and let live. As long as, these people are subject to the same mind control as the people who believe the globe. It's not their fault. It's through conditioning. It's anti-God to me, but, they got time to mend their ways, I'm sure. But it's all part of the demonic system. People like Elton John, who is paedophilic by nature. He's allowed kids by the state. He's homosexual. The rest. Now, these people are covered up. Now, we got a comedian in Britain by the name of Michael Barrymore. Back about 10 years ago, maybe. They found a butcher's boy, a young boy, in his swimming pool in a homosexual homosexual orgy with cocaine and everything else. And this boy was raped and found dead in the pool. Nobody paid for it. And this guy, Michael Barrymore, just carried on with his career. In fact, he joined the Big Brother Celebrity House and won it a couple of years after. Done his career good. But the state and the BBC all of them will cover up this shit. They know it's going on. Now, Orion's belt, they reckon the same correlation exists with the three pyramids, because one of them is offset. The three pyramids at Giza. Well, you also get the same thing here at Whitehall. Whitehall, Orion's belt is seen from above, okay? So don't do Cleopatra's Needle, to the monument there, the RAF Memorial, to this corner here, where there's another monument, the cenotaph there. So that's the cenotaph there in the middle of Whitehall, obviously, and an RAF monument there, and they all line up and just slightly offset to the Orion's belt, same as the pyramid at Giza. So, very intriguing why indeed they have to line things up with the pyramids of Giza. I'm sure they know. There's the monument at Whitehall. It was defaced during a anti-capitalist demonstration not so long ago. The London Eye, these Ferris wheels, there is something going on with these Ferris wheels. They show up nearly on every bloody false flag event, and this year, this golden eagle, symbolising man, his defied state, prepares to fly into the sun and become one with the sun god, oh Jesus Christ, their nutty belief system. The Millennium Wheel, known as the London Eye, as reference to the Eye of Horus and its enormous solar disk. So this London Eye is representative of Horus this year, okay? London Eye directly opposite the RAF Memorial, okay? This is the RAF Memorial with said golden eagle, which you will find on the banners of the Nazis and ancient Rome and the Americans. Okay, so there's Beetlejuice. Apparently, they will lead you to think that Beetlejuice is a ginormous star which is about to go supernovae and basically explode. But because it's so apparently so far away, we're not going to really be affected by it. They're nuts. So there's London maps. Now, I do believe that the attacks and the Illuminati attacks can be correlated on a map of London, and you could predict, which I'm trying to do, where the next attack will show up. Now, this is indeed the Orion Nimrod the Hunter, isn't it? And they put their specific monuments to make this shit work. They do the same in Washington, D.C. and many other cities jam-packed with Illuminati and Masonic symbology. So, here's more Illuminati symbology, Trinity, and Tavistock Square. Look at this in Tavistock Square. Blake. Bacon, also, I think Francis Bacon's probably a player in all of this big story, because he was, remember, the first guy who set up the Secret Service in Britain, apparently 500 years ago under the reign of Elizabeth I. But being an alchemist and everything else, he could have indeed been William Shakespeare, and Shakespeare may not have existed. Full stop. So there's your list of Masonic stuff. Now, if you remember the Great Fire of London of 1666, nobody died. London slums were cleared, but the contract was already written up by a guy called Sir Christopher Wren to rebuild all of these churches of the 1700s, all of them, guys, and they are all marked out here, you can see. So to me, the Great Fire of London, which cleared this entire area of London, got rid of all the old medieval slums and replaced with beautiful stone facades, which you can witness today, these beautiful stone churches, St Paul's Cathedral. There's a story of St Paul's Cathedral, whereas in Sir Christopher Wren goes into the burnt out shell, asks one of his labourers, "Boy, fetch me a stone, I need to put a plumb line down the first line." A boy comes up with a stone, and in its hands it reads Resurgi, resurgence from the flames, as in the phoenix. So whether or not that's a psyop bullshit, I wasn't there, it sounds like it is to me. That stone you can see today in St Paul's Cathedral over one of the doors in there. So to me, the Great Fire of London is a psyop to get rid of the slums, to build all of this Illuminati symbology marked out from the 1700s, and it's still there today. And these people here, okay, Beatrice and the Queenie. So Beatrice in the Netherlands, who actually coughed up about a moon rock being fake. She did. It was petrified wood. No, this column here, I've seen many times. You'll find a lot of these in nearly every city in the Western world, you know, in Russian or German cities, Polish cities, or Eastern European cities, American cities. You have one of these, I believe, in New York in, what park is it? Let me think. At the top, past the Bronx. What's that area called? But anyway, you do have one of them. It's the famous part of British. Martin speaking. Hi guys. Happy Sunday. I'm just continuing my investigation on the war against God, which I am taking personally right now because of the ongoing shit and the bloody nightmare comments I have of people who are from enemy camps, okay, supporting demonic sort. I'll get to that soon. Now, I've been making a post pretty much throughout the day covering this Palmyra Arch, which you will find they put a 3D copy or a model of in Trafalgar Square and Times Square. Well, many of you have seen this in the Flat Earth Now, I also done a little post just looking briefly at Baalbek, giving you some of the idea of the strange-ass cult religion of Helios, which they were worshipping, which this strange-ass religion of the Illuminati and the powers that be are still worshipping. They're worshipping fuck. Now, they made up this incredible bullshit about dinosaurs, right? Now, during the digging of Trafalgar Square, now this is apparently a model put up in Trafalgar Square, guys, okay, along with their Palmyra Arch. So, when they were digging the foundations of Trafalgar Square back in the day, they found, they said, dinosaur bones. So, the origins of the London Basin. Now, I've been hypothesizing with a friend of mine, Sergey the Russian, and Robert Doomweeder on a show Friday, on Flat Friday, that there was a large deposit of mud and clay covering most cities you see today, and it seems that this clay was covering an old civilization in recent times past, and these lot have cleared it, hidden all evidence of it, and the evidence is still there because you can see ancient sewer systems, ancient tunnels, ancient foundations, and all buildings you see, such as Baalbek and every other from antiquity, have older stones that they have built on top of. You'll still see this with cathedrals also, and anything of antiquity. Anyway, an ice sheet rerouted the Thames to come through London 500,000 years ago. Well, that's bullshit, okay, because I don't believe that even happened that time scale, and if there was an ice age, it ended 10,000 ago. Now, this year represents this London Eye, the Eye of Horus, which is basically some of their strange-ass religion again. It all goes down to, sort of back to the pyramids, and, you see a correlation with the Great Pyramids of Giza and Orion's Belt, and this overlaps into some of the stuff they laid down in London. I'll cover that in a post I make today and hopefully get out later. If not, just bear with me. Geologists describe London as the London Basin. This is because it literally a thick layer of clays and sand, all piled up in a large depression, a basin. The London walls are made of chalk, but what does this tell us about London's long lost distant past? The chalk represents product of massive global warming. Well, that's bullshit, because chalk is calcite, isn't it? So it's calcium from shell creatures dying in mass in antiquity and through time. But I'm a flat earther and creationist, so to me everything's made in situ and part of the model. The result of this evidence of Earth was huge rise in sea levels. So that would be the biblical flood then, is it? In this massive sea, the area of London was a long distance from land, and only a fine white mud we call chalk rained out as billions on trillions of tiny algalic skeletons, which are in fact calcite and sea creatures. Great. The White Cliffs of Dover are in fact calcite sea creatures. Soon a thick 600-meter blanket of white sediment had formed, and the sea level gently fell away. So then it gives rise, I'll go a bit further because I want to keep the time down, that they excavate this and they find a concoction of dinosaur bones. But up until around the 1800s mark, dinosaurs weren't really even thought of. They're things like megalodons and large, sneaky things that actually did exist, but not so much the old dinos, I'm afraid. It's all part of their satanic system. Now let's take a look at the Palmyra Arch. Now they've moved this thing around. It's a 3D printed one. It's not the real one. They reckon that was destroyed in Baalbek 2015 by so-called ISIS, but I haven't been there to check. But I'll have a look on Google Earth, but you can't because basically it's old because ISIS are there. So there's the unveiling by Boris Johnson, the fuzzy-haired, classically educated Etonian. There he is there. So a replica of the Palmyra Arch, Baal. If you really know anything about the weird ass religion these people worship, Baal is pretty much big on their list of demonic entities to worship, as we have covered in the past. So I'm going to leave it at that. Satanic Illuminati Palmyra Arch goes on display in London. So this is what they're playing at. It replicates Palmyra, or the Temple of Baal in New York City. Signifies another step to UN, well, not global because there's no globe, but there is a plane takeover indeed. So I'm going to try and upload this. Globebusters is on in 1 minute, so I have to go. And then I'm going to try and get a video out tomorrow concerning the demonic record Sneaky Peaky has been putting out. Okay, that'll interest you. I have to fly. Globebusters is on. God bless. Bonsoir. And much love to the Flat Earthers and anyone else. God bless.